So we'll now look at how to configure and customize your charts, how to select the symbol sets or the currency pairs. We'll view the cable chart, cable being the abbreviated name for the GBP US dollar Forex pair. We'll show you how to install a Bollinger Band, one of the frequently used indicators, and how to load and save your screen area as a template. We'll also cover a platform overview of some of the key features of the MT4 platform. Okay, we have our account open and we have our platform downloaded. So let's now have a look at some of the key areas of the platform. Let's start at the top. You'll find that you have your account number and the broker's name there, along with the type of account it is and which particular currency pair is displayed at the moment. Right, now the key areas then are the chart area here, the market watch area, which contains the symbols or the currency pairs that you're interested in trading, the navigator panel, which gives you information about your accounts and such things as indicators, and here you have your terminal section, which gives information on all your open orders and your account status. That's when the trade tab is clicked on. You can also, in the terminal area, view your account history, news events. You can set up alerts for certain conditions. You have a mailbox with information from the service provider, information on expert advisors, which is a programmable item which we'll learn something about in the more advanced section, and some information from the service provider about the status of your account. So we're interested initially in the trade tab. At the bottom you also have your account number shown again. You also have the connection status, and that needs to be at least 50% of it is green, as shown there, for to have a reliable interface with the broker, and the transmission speeds. You don't need really fast transmission speeds, because once the terminal is open there's not an awful lot of data being transferred. Okay, some other key areas. Now the chart at the moment is showing the currency relationship on a monthly time frame. Now we can change that by using these tabs here. So at the largest view we have a monthly view. You can change it to a weekly view, daily, 4 hourly, 1 hourly, 30, 15, 5 or 1 minute view. So we'll stick on a 15-minute view for the time being. We also have some really important information up here about the type of chart that we're going to view. Now you'll notice at the moment our chart area is nothing like the screenshots that we've seen of the ones that we use at Raven Glen. So let's start to customize it so that it looks a little bit more user friendly. Firstly, let's expand the view by clicking on this plus button here. You'll now see that you can see the individual indicators more clearly, but you'll notice they're nothing like the candlesticks that we discussed earlier. So we click on this button here and we change it to a candlestick view, so it's looking more familiar already. You'll also need to look at these indicators here. If we click on File, we'll see there are the various options here about things that we may or may not want to look at in a bit more detail as we develop. We also have this view, and some of the key buttons to look out for are obviously this terminal button here. If we click on that, we can see our terminal view has disappeared. Well, that's not something we want, so make sure that you have the correct areas highlighted on here. Also, toolbars is fairly important that you make sure we have all of the toolbar options selected. We now want to have a look at the symbol section. Now, symbol or currency pair is the way that you can look at this. At the moment you can see that we only have a Euro USD spread betting panel open, along with a Euro GBP spread betting account. Now the currency pair that we're going to be focusing on is GBP USD, and you can see we have that listed here as well. So if you click on and highlight that, then right click, then click chart window, you'll see that it now appears as GBP USD. It happens to be on the 1 hour time frame. Now if for some reason GBP USD wasn't listed when you open up your account, then what you need to do is to right click on the symbol area and select symbols, and you'll then see these options here. If you expand this one, Forex spread betting option, you'll see a list of all the appropriate currency pairs that you're able to spread bet on this platform, and you need to make sure that it's indicated, highlighted in gold. So GBP USD, if it wasn't already gold, you would highlight that and click show and then close, and then GBP USD would be listed there. So let's very quickly configure our GBP USD platform the way we did earlier, and that's by turning it into a candlesticks view and expanding our view. The time frame doesn't really matter at this particular point in time. Let's now have a look at customizing our chart areas so that we can set up our own default color schemes. So in the chart area, if you right click, go down to properties, it's important that these 4 items here are ticked: show OHLC, ask line, period separators and grid, and you'll see why later on. You then click on the colors tab, and there are 3 default color schemes. Now the one we want to select is black on white. You'll notice that the candlesticks are still not in the colors that we want to use as our default, so we simply move over here to our bull and bear candles. Now our bull candles are the ones which show an upward progression, and let's select green for that. And the bear candles are candles which show a downward progression of the currency pair, and let's show a red colour scheme for that. Once you've done that, you select OK. Now it's starting to take on a more familiar look. We'll now see how we can draw lines on the chart. What we do is, firstly, if we move up to this section here and we select the horizontal line draw, click it, and then we simply move to wherever we want to draw our horizontal line on the chart, left click, and it places a line on there. If we double click on the line, you'll see it comes up with a grab handle either side, and that means we can move it up and down and place it at whatever particular point on the chart we want it to be. Also, right clicking brings up the horizontal line properties, and we can change things like the colour of the line, the width of the line, and also whether it's a firm line or dotted. You can actually put in the exact value of the line if you want it to be very, very specific about where it is. Once you've done that, click OK, and you see the line changes to the parameters we've just given it. And while the grab handles are there, you can move it, double click, the grab handles move, and then you can't move that line. It will be fixed until you double click on it again. Similarly, we can draw a vertical line by doing exactly the same thing with our vertical line tool. We place it wherever we want to place it on the chart, double click to bring up the grab handles, move it to wherever we want it to be, and again the properties are exactly the same as the horizontal line. Another important feature is this crosshair here, and the crosshair is used for measuring the distance between 2 particular points on the chart. So if we select our crosshair tool and just move it over into the chart area, let's say we want to measure the distance between the top of this red candle here, we move our cursor to that position, hold the left button down, and then drag it to whichever other position you want to monitor the distance to. So let's move it to that position. So the top of that wick of that candlestick, looking at the middle of those 3 sets of numbers there, you'll see it's 742. That's actually 74.2 pips. Sorry, I keep moving my cursor there. 74.2 pips is the distance between the top of the wick of that candle and the opening point of that candle. So you now have some information on the most important features of the platform, the most important buttons. I suggest that you just try a combination of them, Make sure you familiarise yourselves with them, because if you do know your way around the platform, you'll find it so much more easier to be comfortable when you're placing trades. We mentioned earlier that there are numerous indicators that you can use to help you make your decision on when to enter and exit a trade. But the one that we're going to use predominantly through this course is the indicator called Bollinger Bands. So let's see how we do that. Well, over on the Navigator section here, if we expand our Indicators tab, scroll down until we find our Bollinger Bands, left click and then simply drag it across into the chart area. There's no need to worry about the information. We'll just save our defaults by clicking OK, and here you'll see that we now have our Bollinger Bands indicated on our chart, our average, which is the center line, and the upper and lower Bollinger Bands, and you'll see that they are repeated on each of the different time frames. The patterns you'll see look very similar, and we'll discuss the relevance of them later on in the course. Right, now that we have our screen looking the way we want it, it's important for us to save it, because if we do make any changes that we don't want to be permanent, we always want to be able to come back to this particular setting when we need to. So we do that by creating a template. So within the chart area, you right click, go to template, save template, and we'll give it a name, RG Demo 1, and save that. Now if we make any changes, so let's for example change the properties so that we have a yellow on black colour scheme. Let's even remove the Bollinger Bands by deleting that indicator. Now if we want to get back to our chosen default setting, then we simply within the chart area right click, template, and select the RG Demo 1, which we've just saved. Click on that, and there we have our screen back the way we want it, including our Bollinger Bands. We mentioned earlier about the importance of maintaining good trading records, and we'll have a look in this section at how you can, from the screen and the platform, monitor your open trades, compare your profits in either money or pips, have a look and review all the previous trades you've made, and review how you can actually get a statement for all your historical data or for a selected period of time. So in terms of our record keeping, we're now going to have a look at the terminal section of our platform screen. That's the area highlighted at the bottom here. Now we see that in this area we're currently on the trade tab, and it shows every individual open trade that's currently open and a general history and status of the account. On the right hand side under profit, it shows you the profit in total in pounds and the profit per trade, in this instance in pips. Now you can change that so that the profit on individual trades can be shown in either pounds or pips, and you do that simply by right clicking in the terminal area, moving up to the profits section, and then selecting either points, term currency or deposit currency. You'll now see that the profit on the trade is showing the same figure as the overall profit. So let's move on to our account history tab now, and what you see here is a record of every trade that we've placed in the selected time frame that we're monitoring, and you can select all history, the last 3 months on a monthly basis, or even put in your own parameters by selecting custom settings. You can then order a HTML file to be generated, which will give you a record of every single transaction in HTML format, so you can view it in a web browser, and it will show you every trade for that selected period. So you select Save as Detailed Report, and we'll use the file name Demo1 for the purposes of this demonstration, and you save that in the appropriate folder, and the system will then generate a file which will be displayed like this, and this shows you every single trade with the opening and closing prices, whether it was a buy or sell trade for the selected period. It also gives you a graphical indication of your results for the selected period. Hopefully it is positive as per this particular graph, and it will also give you some statistics on your overall statement, such as your gross profit, your gross loss, total net profits, along with an indication of your average profitable trades, the number of consecutive winning and losing trades, and just a general overview of the success or otherwise of your trading account. So just to confirm that you've understood the information in this module, you should now have installed the GKFX MT4 platform, and it should look like the screenshots and video footage during this module. And have you installed the Bollinger Bands, and do they display again as shown in the footage during this module?